You're listening to Puma Podcast.
There's like different angles you can take at it. Is it like if it's generally making music now? Yeah, it's way
Yeah,
easier
it's
now.
way easier because now you don't have to buy tape.
You don't
You
have
can just download something and then you can just get plugins. You don't need to pay for all these analog equipment.
you don't have to go through the hoops of actually paying for studio time that much
Making
anymore.
music is not as hard as it was before. Of course, you still have to learn like the ups and downs of like DAWs, digital audio workstations. But being in music in the industry, that is really hard because one, you need to be consistent, and two, you need to be marketable. Because even though you have good music, like the reality of things is that if you're not marketable, you're not gonna make it very far. That's like the harsh reality that we're sort of trying to overcome.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ed Faraon, Puma Podcast. In this episode, I spoke with two young artists from Manila, Marcial and Mangonade. Both in their early 20s, this indie duo is at the very beginning of their musical journey together. As young Filipino artists navigating the digital age, they offer a fresh and insightful perspective on the challenges and opportunities emerging talents face in today's music industry. In this conversation, we take on the question, what's it like to be a young Filipino musician in the digital age?
So I'm Mangonade.
I'm Marcial
We're a two-piece band or duo, whatever you want to prefer to call it.
from Manila.
From Manila.
And
yeah.
we make music. We are solo artists actually.
Yeah, we are still solo artists. It's just like it's more of like a combination of the two. Well, I started making music in 2016. I just installed FL Studio one day and was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
FL Studio is a digital audio workstation. This is the platform Mangonade explored when he was just 13. In fact, the beat you're hearing right now was one of his attempts at sampling another user's work nearly 6 years ago. On SoundCloud, this beat reached more than 260,000 listens.
This is kind of cool. But then it kind of actually started maybe like 2021 where I actually tried, like putting myself more out there. From there, I just like started releasing stuff and it seemed to work out just fine.
For me, my family is filled with musicians, so I sort of got interested randomly. Like, I was forced to be a musician by my parents because they wanted me to do classical piano, and I wasn't really a fan of it. And then one day I saw this anime called K-On! And I picked up a guitar because of it. And ever since then, I've been writing music. It started around when I was like 13 years old.
In the Philippines, where traditional views may dictate a more conventional career path, the backing of one's family is not just encouraging but transformative. As a creative, Marcial gives us an insight on the impact a family support could have for young musicians.
Familial support is like if you have it, you're so blessed. Kasi a lot of things will be given to you. Like not only do they support you and they will understand that you're investing your time on this, they won't see it as a waste of time as some traditional parents may think. Because in the Philippines, there are a lot of traditionalist parents that may think that if you're doing music, wala kang maabutan. Which is, again, another subjective thing. It really depends how you approach your career in the music industry. Because there's so many possibilities in this industry. Especially now that there are many ways for you to succeed.
In a digital age where people's attention spans seem to be shrinking, it's crucial for young independent artists to know how to use social media and know how to be marketable. Marcial takes note of how the pandemic gave young musicians time to work on their craft and marketability.
4 years ago, it was very chill. Like everyone just wanted to make music and then just showcase it. Now, it's much more competitive because in my opinion, after the pandemic, everyone sort of had this glow up. I don't know. Don't you think so too? Like everyone like sort of randomly glue up. I don't know. Maybe because everyone like I don't know. I'm not saying everyone, but yeah, everyone had more time to work on their like looks and everything. Now everyone looks good, so it's like much more competitive. A lot of the marketing really relies on social media. It's good because it's accessible, everyone can do it, and then you can do like very low budget things because one, you don't need to buy a camera if you just use your phone. But It's bad, not necessarily bad, but it's harder because there's a lot of people doing the same thing. So you like the marketability is very important because you need to pop. In a sea of many talent, you need to pop. That's why marketability is important because it's very easy for someone to scroll down in the first 5 seconds of your, let's say, cover. Like they could like just scroll down to the next person. So the reason why you really need to pop is to catch their attention.
There's like a 5 second rule before you can grab someone's attention. If you manage to like not use that at all, you're not gonna move forward at all.
Yep.
We're pausing for a quick break. When we return, let's look at how the local gig scene is and how young musicians can use this avenue to promote their songs. Earlier, Marcial and Mangonade shared with us how the social media landscape has been for young Filipino musicians. But we also asked just how important going to and performing in gigs is for young musicians wanting to take their career in music to the next level.
We're very interactive with the crowd because I don't know. I really see performing as more of showcasing music, but at the same time hanging out with the crowd at the same time. I mean, that's how I see it. That's how I enjoy the gig scene. I say it's very very welcoming and it's very accessible too because you could actually to the young talent out there. If you want to go to a gig, just look for a prod.
Yeah.
It's really that easy.
Yeah.
It's really easy. But if you're a young talent looking to get into gigs, it's common knowledge, yes, but do not expect there to be a lot of people at the very start because you gotta start somewhere. And we started where like only our parents were there. So
Well, parents and friends. Well,
yeah, parents and friends. But
friends and family. Yeah.
eventually people will come in, people will like you, people will listen. You'll eventually have people who you could call fans.
The duo also shares tips for young musicians who want to know how to get stage access and gigs.
Well, basically, you have to send a portfolio and all that stuff, and then they're gonna check you out. It depends how serious and big the prod is, but if the prod's like a prod,
A smaller scale prod.
yeah, a smaller scale prod, you can just show your portfolio, show your band name or your artist name. You're good. They're gonna get you.
And then that's how you would build your portfolio for the bigger prods.
But do not expect to get paid
Yeah, you're not gonna
in
get paid.
in the very early days, of course.
Part of this conversation now is the debate on passion versus stability.
Passion versus stability. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can kind of explore it. Economically speaking, like pursuing passion is extremely risky. Like it's a very huge risk. It's like you don't know where it can go, and it's like terrifying if you even try for it. It could land somewhere that you would not like. It does make sense why you have to think about sustainability over passion most of the time because just how the Philippines generally is.
For Marcial, pursuing his music career is integral to his mental health, which is why he made sure to find ways to sustain himself and at the same time hone his craft.
For me, kasi, sustainability, time-wise, because I'm a working student and I also have this music career. So I'm doing a lot in a day. So sustainability time-wise, yes, it's hard. I barely get any sleep. But in return, my passion's like happy ang passion ko. Ganun. In return, worth it. Kasi I'm doing what I want. So, kung oras man ang matter ng sustainability, kung gusto mo talaga, gagawin mo.
While considering the social media landscape, marketability, and financial constraints one may have, Marcial and Mangonade says having fun and being authentic are the most important things to do as a young musician.
You'll eventually find something that clicks, and that's going to be the long kiss of your career because at some point it could get pretty tough later on. So you just kind of have to keep trying to have fun with whatever you can.
From me, be yourself, be authentic. Kasi if you want to do this and you want to share who you are, because if you're already like sharing your music, you're already sharing a part of yourself. Might as well go all out. So chase your dreams.
If I can add on to that, I guess it's very important that it's very important to remember that hater is gonna hate, right? So you just gotta shake it off, and just shake it off.
And that was today's episode of Teka Teka News. I'm Ed Faraon. The songs featured on this report are Whirlpool by Marcial and Mangonade, available on Spotify, and Flowery by Mangonade on SoundCloud. This episode was edited by Pidoy Blanco. Our Teka Teka News executive producer is Jill Caro, and our senior news editor is Veronica Uy. If you found this episode interesting or useful, share it with a friend. Thanks for listening.